Okay, I got the starter off, and of course, you know, it's toast. I think that's where the positive lead went. Yeah, plastic, some kind of bolt or something. But I can hear it doesn't sound healthy. Like there's stuff floating around in there. Could be dirt, I don't know. And I got the carburetors off, and I got that guy off, and this piece is kind of glued to there with some tape, double-sided tape. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to throw this whole thing in my parts washer. And then on the carburetor, I'm going to go ahead and clean it. And I already got a bowl of some cleaner I used on another deal. I'm just going to throw it in there. And I was looking, and I think I got a Welch plug for it. So I'm thinking maybe take this apart. First I got to take the solenoid off, and because I don't want to throw that in the parts washer. Throw the screws in there. Let's see if that works. Well, it's pretty thin. Probably not gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna put this in my wood bucket over here. But the plunger, I think, is maybe take it off. And there's a little pin right here, so I'll take that off. I'm gonna drop it in there. It'll be alright. So now that that's off, we don't have to take that off, or do we? Yep. Let's take this off. Screw that fuel bowl. Some linkage. This should be just a jet. It is. It's going to go in there. This little screw. It's just a plug. Take our fuel bowl off. Just pop that out. Some people drill them out, but here we go. Kind of pushed it down, but here. Wish the light was better in here. Something I might have to work on. See how dirty it is. Whoa, it's not bad. It's like basically clean. Okay. Just rubber washer. Well, the float's looking pretty flat. Take the, I think they call this an emulsion tube. Yeah, pretty clean. There's a washer. I'm gonna clean it anyway. Looks like a pretty new float. Yeah, somebody's redone this. I'm gonna clean it anyway. Wow, the float looks practically brand new. So let's do this. I'll take this with the keeper pan. I'm not gonna throw it in there. I'm gonna see if this floats. Yeah. Yep, it floats. It's pretty clean too. Let's just throw it in there. Alright, so now gotta take out, let's take this out. Yeah, it came out good. And there should be a washer, and there is. I'll throw it in my bag. Alright. So now we got... So yeah, this is like the choke. That's a choke, right? And then on this side we got the venturi. So we don't take that apart. And there's no other areas we got to really be worried about on this carburetor. So it can just go right in here. Just try to fit it all in there. I might add a little. So yeah, I got it in my ultrasonic cleaner. Clean it up. Turn it on. We'll go. Boom. We're off to the races. Alright. Got the carburetor back together. So now I just want to check I put the coil, the choke back on. So it's like a little jumper. It's connected to the positive. This is the positive side. As it just screws in. I'll have to find a screw for it. But we're just going to watch this plunger go in. And that's it. So that's working. It didn't pop back out just because, like, you know, this is not connected really. See it pop out after but I'll put that back together. I gotta get a couple of cotter pins. I don't have any real small ones. But I just want to check to make sure that's working, which it is. I just cleaned the engine, went and hosed her down with some simple green and brushed her off so she looks better. I do have to put the Welch plug in here. I guess I can do that. So luckily I had some old Welch plugs. Make sure I got the right size. See, it's good to keep some of your old stuff because this one's a little bigger. Yeah, perfect. This is real simple. Just a little hammer to get. Don't even take much, but you see it. It's almost like duct tape. And you strap across here, you know, like maybe across here, just to keep it hold together. Because when it came, it had these two nuts on it, right? But it just goes into this bracket. So this holds it together so it doesn't come apart on you because it's got the brushes and everything. And then, anyway, yeah, just mount it on there. Making a couple of battery cables to go to his battery. Hopefully that's long enough. I think he's in a John bolt, so it should be good. I'm just going to use a vise and it's going to crimp this down. Wire it up, and I do have a solenoid, and I just got to figure out where I want to put the solenoid. I was almost thinking like off of here somehow, but I might put it on the other side. I really looked into it just yet. But I'm gonna have to mount the solenoid somewhere on the engine, and you know, preferably like on this side, because you know. Anyway, I'm not sure if I can mount it on the engine or off of this bracket. And this is where the shift thing is, it moves. So, or not shift, I'm sorry, throttle. So it moves a lever, and then it's got points under the flywheel. So this is our 1960 Johnson that I'm working on, and I was able to get a starter. I still make starters. It's pretty much the same as all the way through to the 80s, I guess, with that design. And I put the carburetor back on, but now where I'm at with this a little bit is I gotta get a game plan, like where I want to route and put a solenoid, and how I want to mount the solenoid, because they don't really give you, I don't know. I'm gonna put the little tank, goes up here. So, and then I made a couple battery cables. I've got a switch, and that's another thing. It's like, am I gonna have the switch out here, or am I gonna mount it on that little metal plate that I have? So the way this goes is this plate is up like this. Let's just get on this side so I can see it. This plate is up like this, and then that little plate that rotates around is underneath it. So what I did was I just kind of put a little grease on this plate, put the screws back in, Loctite them down. So now I'm ready to, you know, put this back on and secure the point set back down. And to do that, there's there's holes on each side for the screws. I'm gonna get a just a pick or whatever to go pull this kind of round in the area where it should be, and line up one of the holes, and then the rest of them will line up. Okay, I got the I got the points base tightened down. For this, you want, like, we're not connected, but you want this line to be about right there, right? So, morning everybody. I guess this will end up being part 2 of the 18 horse 1960 Johnson Seahorse, and I did a bunch of stuff. I kind of mocked up some stuff because this guy wanted an electric start, and so what I did, or show you guys, I just kind of made this. This is a mock-up. So I have a key. It's coming in, and I've wired up a solenoid down here, right? It's below the fuel pump, and I guess first of all, that year they had an external little box that's set up on the boat, and it had your it had your solenoid and the key and everything in a box that was mounted up there. So on the cowling here, there's really nowhere to put they had a start-stop switch that was kind of in the front. Different bracket maybe, or something that it looked like a canister solenoid, and then it had a bracket that went underneath it, and it locked it to the side of the engine somewhere. And the one that I saw that was like, but it was a lot later, it was over here on this bracket. So I don't know if they made the cowling a little better, bigger, and had a place for, you know, like if it came up some or something, or if it was just right there. Since it's that old engine, I didn't want to do any kind of weird, like cutting a hole or doing anything like that. You know, if it ever, you could ever make it original, you could. And I just got my negative lead to there. This I tried to use as like the ground for the magneto, and because I did pull this off and I cleaned the points on it, and I just kind of set them and cleaned them, but we don't know if I have, because I did mark them and I should have. But I don't know if this is number one or if this is number one, this spark plug lead. So I'm gonna pop the flywheel off and just make sure. And I figured, well, I don't think I showed that before, so maybe we'll show that real quick, because it's pretty easy. I'm just taking an impact gun in it. Right, and then I'm going to thread it back on slightly, because when this thing pops off, I don't want it to just go flying. And then I've got a little puller over here, and I don't know, this came from one of the auto parts stores, and I just kept it. But it doesn't have the right bolts in that kit, so you know, you may have to go and get some bolts, and you want the flat side up so when they'll screw like I have, like this. So yeah, we're just gonna run that down, and then I think this is the same, yep. And then we're just gonna, boom, it's off. I'm gonna mark them. So on the points, just since I have it open, you know, you got your coil, condenser, and your point. And then on the flywheel, there's a little mark that says top. Right, I cleaned this all off, and that's firing good. But anyway, there's a little mark down there on the flywheel that says top. There's 3 bolts that'll take this out, like this one, and then you got one down there. Right, and then on the opposite side you got one just right down in there, and then this will come up. I took that off, cleaned it up, put a little grease down there, back on there like so, put a nut.